Oh, that's not good. Look at all that. My goodness. We're up here in the race shop for today's video making some upgrades. A lot of you watched and commented on my last video, the magnet sweeping video, on different ways I can make the sweeper work better and actually stay at a solid height the entire time of using it. I threw that together very fast and it worked, but there's improvements. We need to make improvements. So here are a ton of comments that I went through, looked at them all. Some I was very confused about at first, and then after more people were commenting, I understood what that original person was trying to say. A couple were push or pull it. I think that's all the comment was, and I'm like, well, I didn't understand what they were saying at the time. And more people were commenting I had to make a solid mount off the quad and push it instead of letting it hang and free fall. I got a couple here that I'm reading off for you guys. Thank you to everyone that commented. A few of you also figured out or had ideas of what that finer material was that I was picking up that I still am. And that is the aggressive brake pads that we run. I never thought of that, like the brake dust. Where does it just go? It doesn't just disappear into the air. Generally, it probably just gets blown around or picked up by a giant magnet. So I'm thinking that is what those finer materials are. It's the brake dust, the harder material on the brake pad. A lot of people are saying tow it behind the quad. I like that idea, but the whole point is to hopefully pick up these objects before we run them over, right? So you want to, I guess, yes, we could tow it behind the quad, but I would prefer it be in front so we don't get a flat tire on the quad itself. My original idea in the last video was that the blower frame was a solid mount, so maybe I could hang it from there. But then a final comment finally got me to understand it. And this person went through like the entire install, and I'm like, oh, okay, now I get what they're saying. And that is to build a caster setup, just like the zero-turn lawnmowers, off the front of this magnet so it stays at a steady height. Throw some arms on it right to the quad, and it is at a max height, never moves up or down, kind of free floats at that same height the entire time. And that's what we're going to be working on today. A couple other people had some comments, print off some 3D parts, use the winch to adjust it. Well, the bad news is that winch, I don't even think works. It's been on there forever. I've never used it, so good idea, but I would have to fix the winch, and that's out of my expertise. Someone commented, could have just drug a lawn magnet rake. Not sure what that means, but thank you for the comment. Today we're up here in the race shop because we're going to be building and upgrading this magnet setup. Let's head on over to the magnet and I'm going to show you everything we're doing. Before we get to the project of upgrading the magnet sweeper setup, I want to let you guys know that the race season here at Stafford Speedway has concluded. Championship night was last Friday. Ended up 10th with the SK, 15th in points overall. Not the best points here for us, but finished off the year with a decent finish. Happy with that. Thank you to all of my sponsors this season, not only on the race cars, but also on the channel. Monaco Ford of Glastonbury in Niantic, Connecticut, Pabst Blue Ribbon, Next Gen Parts Place, the Drive Shaft Shop, Carson Companies, Chalu Race Products, ATL Fuel Cells, LaJoy Racing Containment Seats. A lot of people supported me this year and I greatly appreciate it. Just wanted to give them all a shout out before we start today's video. Now that we finished that up, let's go ahead and jump into this project and see what we got. I've got all of my parts and hardware laid out here to show everyone what my game plan is here. At first, I took the side plate off the magnet to see what was behind there, have a little clearance if I wanted to put the wheel off to the side. I since have changed my decision on what I'm going to do there, and I'll tell you why shortly. I have some parts from the race cars, tie rods with some Heim joints on it that I'm going to use as the stabilizers to keep this magnet level from the quad. So we have these ready to go, and I have all of this flat stock tubing, 90-degree angle metal that we're going to be making into our adjustable casters, I guess you could say. My plan is to get a wheel mounted in front of the magnet itself while these adjusters are on the back that go to the quad to then push the magnet forward. These are going to be fully rotational, so if I do put it in reverse, all that should happen, I think, is the wheel turns and goes in reverse. We'll see if that plays out right or not. So that's what we're going to be getting into. Let's go ahead and start cutting up this metal and making our magnet sweeper 2.0. Let's see how this goes. Got both sets of casters built out, wheel holders, whatever we want to call them. Kind of based it off of what the zero turn is, with just like a C channel, put some rod locks on them, I don't know. My next step is to figure out how to get this to attach to this point here while also allowing this to swivel. So my first thought is to get an 90 degree bracket bolted down to this. I'll go with that for now. And I also cut this short little stud of a 5/8 rod. And my thought is to go to the top of this piece we built and have all these washers be the adjustment for height. So now I'll have to figure out how to, so with this Heim here, this is an old Heim off the race car. I have plenty of these. My thought is it will give this the opportunity to swivel around freely. Now I just need to figure out how to get it from this point to here. One thought I had was to just kind of make somehow just weld it on there. Got this custom bracketry finished up. Gonna go ahead and try and bolt down everything to see if it's gonna work. Quite the day trying to build this contraption I have come up with. Not only were you guys able to see the magnet sweeper version 1 and also see the start of this video that was magnet sweeper version 2.0, I aborted mission when I realized it wasn't going to work, and currently I'm at 2.5. Here we have magnet sweeper 2.5. I think this might work. It's not 100% done. You can see it's not centered on the quad right there, but I got to figure out a better way to mount it to the quad. I didn't want to weld anything to it yet, but here's what we got. Originally, if you remember, these casters that are on the back were on the front. When I hooked up the rod ends, the tie rods, the whole magnet still flipped. So I then went back to Tractor Supply, got one swivel wheel that is on the front, hacked together some metal that was left over from my truck renovation project. And we're gonna see if this works. It is currently sitting on no wooden blocks. So you can see it has quite the, it's pretty close to level. The spacing is right here. So to lower it, I just have to put a couple more shims in between this whole bracket, and that will drop it some more. So I'm gonna go ahead, fire up the quad, which also, check this out, when I get on the quad, the Heim swivel. See it right there? Swivel on Heim. Oh, you can't because I left the tag on it. This Heim swivels instead of the magnet dropping down. So I think this actually might work if my welds stay together. Let's go ahead, drive this out with the quad and see if I made something that might actually work. Well, good news from the drive from the garage down here onto the track, the same drive that I did with the magnet hanging down, it hit multiple times, but this time it stayed level the entire drive down. So now I'm gonna go ahead and run this magnet around the track a couple times and see if we stay level and see if we pick up anything. So it's working out pretty well. It's still wandering around a little bit. I need to tighten up the upper mount because it seems to be wandering side to side. Let's go ahead, see if we could drive this around, see if it's low enough. Now it stays at more of a steady height. Magnet Sweeper 2.5 kind of works. It still has the problem of hitting the ground on one side and not the other, especially here on the apron. I think that might just always happen unless I put the wheels on the very ends of the magnet itself. But the true test now, the reason I really wanted to get this magnet in the first place is to go through the grass area. I wanted to roll this. Let's see if I can get it through the grass. There we have it. It works. The three wheels are keeping it right above the grass, following all the different bumps. First test run with the Magnet Sweeper 2.5. Definitely still could use a little bit of work. Putting this on three wheels for sure helped, and pushing it with the quad instead of just letting it hang made it where these wheels kept it at a solid height. So let's see what we picked up in a very short amount of time. I think I'm going to be surprised about how much more we pick up with just this adjustment of keeping the magnet at a level height. Let's see what we got. Do you guys see all that? Oh, that's not good. Well, I guess that's good, but not good for... Here, let me push this back so the shadows aren't so bad. Look at all that. My goodness. That's crazy. That's a lot of stuff. There's a lot more in this small amount of time with the Magnet Sweeper 2.5 than there is with the original Magnet Sweeper. This is, wow. Well, that is a lot of items that we've picked up with Magnet Sweeper version 2.5. I would almost go to say that is double the amount of metal we picked up with the first version, just because it's at this continuous 1-inch height the entire time, never hitting the ground. It was in the grass section getting hit by the grass pretty hard, so I'm thinking that might have wiped the magnet off a little bit, because I took a peek when I got off the track and I noticed there were some hood pins, but I don't see them here now. So that means they got knocked off the magnet. This is surprising how much got picked up. with finding this much in this short amount of time we use the magnet, I think we should do the whole half mile. But we're gonna park the magnet for tonight, come back in the morning and do a full magnet sweep of the entire half mile racetrack, the track, the infield pitting, and the grass sections and all, and see what we end up with. Hit that like button if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, I greatly appreciate it. See you guys in the morning where we magnet sweep the entire half mile. Now that we have a full day ready for some magnet sweeping here on the half mile, it is time to put this to the ultimate test. Mag Sweep 2.5 is ready for action. And today I'm going to sweep the entire half mile track, not just the asphalt, but also the grass section and the pit road area. So let's get to work. We got a long day ahead of us. So let's go ahead and start magnet sweeping. We have the first clean off after sweeping just the front stretch in the center infield grass section. Let's see what we got. Overall, not bad. Quite a few got a lot of clips here. Nice. Add those to the toolbox. This is just the first section, the front stretch and the center infield grass section. This is just the pan from what I picked up yesterday and then just driving down here today. I'll add this to it as well. That's starting to fill up fast. The setup's working relatively smooth. In the grass, I think it's actually getting cleaned off in the grass section, which isn't the best, just because I run the grass at about 3 inches, 3.5. If the magnet's only an inch off the ground, with all the pressure of the grass hitting the magnet, it kind of cleans off the magnet. So not the best. The front tire is pretty wobbly, but overall it is working, picking up quite a bit of material. Let's head over to turns 3 and 4 and clean up that section. Major problems. Didn't get too far today and it's already falling apart. The nut must have fell off this. Do you think it's on the magnet? Come on, big money. Nope, it's not. Clean off number 2 from turns 3 and 4. Let's see what we got over there. I found an N2, I think this is a Pinto steering rack that was stuck to the front of the magnet. Pulled that off earlier. Got a couple bolts, washers, Nerf bar pins, grease fittings. So it's definitely working, picking up quite a bit. Still have all this fine metal particles, which a lot of you think is brake dust, or the finer pieces in the brake pads. Because we run very aggressive brake pads here in the race cars. All right. Let's keep cleaning away. Here is the bucket after 2 cleanups, front stretch and turns 3 and 4. Now I'm gonna work this area here in the center of the infield, all in this dirt. This is where the pit crews set up their pit carts. We have the tie rods out here, both spring and fall, so who knows what is in this dirt area. So let's go ahead, magnet sweep this area and see what we end up with. And now for the clean off of the infield pit area, pit road, behind the pit walls where all the crews are. There is a lot on this magnet. Like, it is maxed out. Oh boy, I can't even lift the release. Wow. Jeepers creepers, guys. Look at all this stuff. Wow. This is all just from behind the Jersey barriers here, where all the pit crews generally set up their pit stalls. I know a lot of this isn't from the pit crews, but man, oh man, Sawzall blades, razor blades. Oh, there's a lot of razor blades. 1, 2, 3. Another Sawzall blade. Another, what used to be a razor blade. There is a lot that this magnet just picked up behind these walls. Well, it's a good thing that I am using this. This is definitely gonna save a couple people's tires down the road. So a lot of this has been here for a while, as you can tell. It's all rusty. But I think what is happening is when these pit crews come in, they set up, if a car wrecks, it gets towed behind the wall, they work on it. Some of these parts, like the washers especially, might fall off and you're not gonna find them when they hit the ground. So they throw new washers on, or just get the bolt tightened up and get it back out there and don't worry about the washers. So good thing we're picking this all up. Overall, Mag Sweep 2.5 did its job, picked up quite a bit of material. A lot of tires are being, is that a piece of like wire mesh? A lot of tires are going to be saved from this piece of equipment. I still have a couple fine-tuning adjustments to do to this. I have to figure out how to make it so this wheel doesn't shake as much, but I don't know if there's going to be a way to not have that happen. I don't think this needs to be on a quad or truck all night throughout a race night. Definitely a very beneficial piece to have. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Hope you enjoyed Mag Sweep 2.5 and putting it to the test here at Stafford Speedway. Thank you for watching. Throttle down and see you guys at the races.